Well, he also says the line "squirt hard" earlier, and I don't remember the context, but
I think I heard that in a different kind of video one time.
Oh God, I don't want to know.
Whoop whoop, whoop whoop. Welcome back to the podcast. We're all cheering. Whoop whoop. It's time for To Kill A Delibird, and we're gonna be watching some Pokemon today. Not talking about it. Welcome back to the podcast where we do that. It's a crazy time. It's wild. We are 74 weeks in. It's a good time. I'm Kellan. I play Pokemon. I know too much about Pokemon. And as usual, I'm joined by Graham, who doesn't. Graham, how you doing?
Good. I am lovely. We're whooping and watering this week, Kellan.
Whoop, whoop, whoop.
These are fun episodes.
They're very fun episodes.
Yeah, like, I actually like this companion piece of when we get not a serious episode, but sort of like a plot episode with like a silly episode, you know?
Yeah.
I like that pairing, right? It's like, oh, we get peanut butter and we get jelly.
Yeah, it's nice. We get something that's going to persist, and then we get something really dumb and fun. And we just get to have some jokes. Exactly.
Yeah, so in case you're wondering, the episodes we're talking about this week, episode 149, The Fire Ring Squad. This is a bit of an important plot episode. And then episode 150, No Big Woop, which really is no big whoop, but it is kind of a funny episode.
It's a very adorable episode.
It's a cute slice of life episode, yeah. And this is slice of life done the entertaining way, not like a way out, day out, which made me want to die.
Yeah, where it was just boring.
Yeah, slice of life doesn't need to mean boring. It just needs to mean like there doesn't need to be a pressing plot or antagonist. It just means, it's a bit more of a relatable kind of saga.
Mm-hmm. As long as it's fun and if it's cute, that's a bonus. I'm good with it.
I mean, that fits well in this kind of kid show for sure, is to have something kind of adorable and touch that part of your heart.
And that's something we've talked many times about, how the filler can sometimes be the best part.
Oh, yeah.
They're really fun, but as a kid, you're just like, ugh, get to the next badge, please. I want to see something evolve. And as an adult, I'm like, fuck yeah, we're going to watch Wooper for 20 minutes? That's sick.
Well, the other part of where filler can be really fun is if it supports world building, right? This is where arguably filler isn't filler anymore, but we're using that word to be, it's not necessarily plot canon material, and it's not necessarily like game relevant material, but it fleshes out the Pokemon world in sort of an imaginative way. I would say those are pretty interesting. Like even aspects of this episode, The Firing Squad, which is a plot episode, but it also gives us this fun background into the world that like, oh, this is how they approach firefighting, right? And we've seen this before, but bringing it up again, that's a fun touch. Yeah,
it's really fleshing it out. It's bringing it kind of to a full circle moment for one of our favorite little characters.
Oh, yes. And we will get
to that
soon. Kellan, you playing any games lately?
Not really. I had to work out of province for a couple days, and so I'm very tired. Man. Yeah, I joke a lot about, I don't do anything. I don't have anything going on. But I'm actually really busy in June, so
yeah, the summer's good to Kellan.
Yeah.
For sure.
So
seasonal
I'm just
work,
tired from
what I'm saying?
Traveling.
Yeah, for sure. And provinces are big. I don't know if we have European listeners. I don't think we do. I think most of our listeners are American. I mean, the States is big too, so you kind of get what having to travel out of state is like. Well,
the States, there's 50 of those states in that country. Canada, geographically, is the second largest country in the world, and we have 13 provinces and territories. So just think about that. You got 50 states, we got 13, essentially, and we're bigger than you. So traveling from province to province takes a lot longer.
There are a few,
your average state to state.
I think the main province-sized state would be Texas. Like, Texas is like a province, right?
Yeah.
So think about traveling in Texas. That's what, like, traveling in Canada is. The next city is, like, 5+ hours away by car.
Yep.
So, okay, so you're now playing video games. I've been gaming. I have been playing Dead Cells. Do you know about Dead Cells?
I've heard of it. I don't know anything about it.
I think he got most famous for that controversy where the IGN writer was like plagiarized his review. and then got fired. I don't know if you remember that was a big deal.
That sounds familiar.
That was the Dead Cells review for IGN when that game came out. But it's one of those games that's like had a lot of support over the years. So they've done a bunch of expansions. And I finally pulled the trigger at like a complete physical version that they did with like all the expansions on disc. And mainly the reason they did it is because the latest expansion they did is called Return to Castlevania. It's a Castlevania crossover where they put in like Dracula's castle and all of these monsters and weapons from Castlevania. And the music that they borrowed from Castlevania is really well done. So I've been playing that game a ton. It's fun. It's brutally hard. It's one of these roguelites where you like have to play the thing over and over and over and try to get like really good at it. And I'm slowly getting better, but it's a pretty challenging game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, the only real roguelike I've played a lot of is Crypt of the Necrodancer. So I understand the like playing it over and over again because that shit's hard. So
it is a good feeling once things start to click, though. Right? Because like you've played that one enough that you've like gotten decent at it, right?
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Depends on the character I'm playing, because some of the characters are ridiculously hard.
Right. But yeah, that's the thing. That's like with this too. It's like, so your runs are randomized and like what weapons you get are randomized, and then you unlock more weapons that go into the pool of like what you could potentially get. And it does depend a lot on like, okay, what kind of build am I getting access to? Because some builds like I'm more comfortable with than others. Hades was a roguelite I played a lot of as well. And that was the same thing. Like with some weapons and boon combinations, I could do really well. And then others, it's like, oh, I don't know how to play this at all.
Yeah, the learning curves are hard.
Yeah, but I like this genre because it kind of reminds me of that experience of trying to get really good at like a retro game where you're just playing the game. Like there's no bullshit. There's no sitting around through cutscenes. There's no like tedious stuff. Like you're just playing the balls to the wall action platformer game, right? But this is sort of like set it up in like a bit more of a modern, accessible way where like, okay, I'm playing it over and over, but things are changing. It's a bit more dynamic. Some stuff carries from run to run. So yeah, I think it's just like a slightly more interesting way to do that like 90s platformer kind of game. Or top down or like whatever. Just like more arcadey kind of gameplay.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Now, does this have anything to do with anything else on the podcast? Probably not, but you know what? Hey.
I like giving a games update every
It's our podcast. We get to do what we want to do.
Games and anime and stuff like that. I'm still reading the original Yu-Gi-Oh manga at nights, and that shit is like ridiculous.
I'm not.
It's just so funny because they're playing cards, but like people die.
Yeah.
They're like the loser of this game will die. And they come up with like crazy scenarios. Like there's this one battle where they're both like chained to an anchor at like a dock. And the idea is whose ever life points hit 0, they can like access a key to unchain them from the anchor. But then the anchor's going to like plunge into the ocean. So the person who can't get free will be dragged to the bottom of the ocean. And it's like, who plays cards like that? Just like, have some cheese and crackers. Like, what are you doing?
I didn't realize that Yu-Gi-Oh! Was a big inspiration for Squid Game. It's crazy.
Well, I mean, Battle Royale was, and I don't know. There has to be some stuff there. And ultimately, everything goes back to JoJo's, actually. And JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I think, influenced Yu-Gi-Oh! And so there you go.
JoJo's Bizarre Adventure influenced everything, I believe.
Yeah, it's true. Everything's a JoJo's reference. Yeah. All goes back to JoJo.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. Our next topic has absolutely nothing to do with what we were talking about. Absolutely nothing. No, before we get into the episodes, I had a bit of a thought this week, Kellan. We get to see a bit more of what Pokemon jobs are like in this world, right? With the firefighting. And I think we've talked a bit about this before. I couldn't remember exactly. So I wanted to think about what historical jobs were like for Pokemon. So I hit the books. I dug deep. I went through the classics, from the Romans to the Babylonians, and then I went modern as well, ins and outs, and figured out around our world. Did you know that Pokemon have actually had jobs in history for a long time?
Wow.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
Yeah. Even though it's even crazier that Pokemon aren't real, but they've had a big importance in our society for a long time. So I am going to reveal my research now.
Okay.
These are the top 10 historical jobs that I discovered for Pokemon. Number 10. Did you know that Krabby were actually the world's first scissors? Like people didn't even think about cutting paper on their own until 1972. It was all just Krabbies. That is when
John Scissor thought, maybe could we fold this paper twice at the same time? And it cut. And it was like, whoa, crazy.
Free the crabs. Well, similarly, there was another invention that we didn't think we needed for a long time because Pokemon did such a good job. This is number 9. Did you know that Sentret were used as doorbells for farmhouses for years? So they could alert the owners when anyone would approach, right? They would just like be at the door, see down the whole driveway. Boom.
Yeah, there you go. It's like a dog sees the truck driving down. It's like, oh, fuck, someone's here. Ah!
Yeah, this was a long-range doorbell, I'd like to think of it as. Mm-hmm. Same concept.
Yeah. Ring really should have invested in Sentret technology.
I know. That would have gone everywhere. I put them out of business. It's the dark secret they don't want you to know. All right, number 8. Did you know that Ditto were used extensively in art classes because they could become any naked model that was needed?
Ah, that makes sense. Yeah.
It was outlawed recently, though, because it really infringes on some privacy things if they're trying to imitate like a celebrity. It's basically a real-life deepfake situation.
Yeah, that's unethical.
Oh my God, that would happen. Not good, Ditto. That would be like we pass a law for Dittos not to impersonate people. Ditto would be like the most regulated Pokemon.
Now, here's the thing. They say that like if you see a person in your dreams, you have seen that person in real life because your brain cannot create a face.
Okay.
Can Ditto become a person that does not exist?
Ooh, I don't know. But what about now you can use AI to generate a picture of a person's face that the person didn't exist. So could you generate that picture and then have the Ditto look at that and turn it into a person that didn't exist?
Maybe, but I don't believe that AI can do that either. I think it's going to look like somebody on Earth. There's 8 fucking billion people.
Maybe. That's a philosophical topic about what is like the whole space of faces, right? Mm-hmm. What are the parameters and can you fully explore that combinations? Mm-hmm. Tricky one. And we are stupid, which is why I wrote this. Number 7. Lickitung were used in ancient Roman bathhouses instead of towels.
Oh,
yeah, they weren't particularly effective because they're quite wet.
Yeah. There's saliva all over the place.
It was a big swing and a miss.
You gotta go back into the fucking tub.
Well, they just would then free dry.
Yeah.
Ancient Rome.
Air
dry. Yeah, thank you.
Number 5.
Nope, number 6.
Number 6.
Did you know, Kellan, that before refrigerators, ghost-type Pokemon were used inside of a closed area because they would cool down that area? Like if you walked by a ghost Pokemon, you know how it feels like, ooh, shivers.
Yeah, I definitely know that. That is a personal experience that I have had.
The only ethical way to do this then was to find a place that the ghosts were already haunting and turn that into a fridge. Because otherwise you're trapping the ghastly there.
Yeah, makes total sense.
It makes total sense.
Number 5, for real.
The world's first windows were actually just Mr. Mime barriers, which wasn't great for, anyone, because the Mr. Mime had to be around there to make new barriers in case they wore out. It took a long time before people connected, glass would do the job.
Now that's got me thinking about, in the next Pokemon movie, whatever it is, there should be a gag where there's 2 Mr. Mime carrying a not real large pane of glass across the street where there's a car chase going on. And they freak out because their glass shattered and there's just nothing there.
I legit think that is hilarious. Yes.
That is such a good idea.
That would be really funny. I don't know if this next one's funny, but it's very true. Number 4. Did you know that Snorlax were used as doors for caves back in the day? Like mausoleums, etc. They actually say, this is new evidence, that Jesus' tomb was not blocked by a boulder, but was an actual Snorlax.
I was going to go there too. Damn it, you took my joke.
And he said to Peter, return on the 3rd day, and Peter came and played the polka flute. Oh, God.
Oh, Peter.
Yeah.
Classic Peter.
Our biblical crossover Pokemon jokes persist again. I don't know why these come up. We're
they're
traumatized, Kellan.
They're very funny.
Yes.
So.
Number 3. Before opium dens, there were coughing dens, where a coughing would just hotbox a whole place with fumes, right? Get everybody just jacked up on coughing fumes. It was a whole thing.
You know there's people putting their mouths over those coughing holes.
Oh, baby, do I.
Straight bonging it.
Pass the coughing, man.
Someone should make that, a coughing bong.
A coughing bong? I bet you that exists.
Yeah, probably.
I bet you there's Pokemon-themed bongs. I haven't looked into it. Because I don't.
Oh, yeah. Coughing bongs
weed,
exist. I found a couple.
You found a couple already? Wow.
Yeah.
That sounds
Galarian
great.
Wheezing would be the best because it's got that giant, like,
the pipes?
top hat thing.
Is that the one with the big pipes? Yeah. Well, this is a bit of a change of a topic from drugs to warfare. Number 2. Did you know that in medieval England, when sieging a castle, Heracross were used as trebuchets? They can fling anything, Kellan.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be a catapult? They don't have that counterweight.
Heracross were used as catapults. You're 100% right. A trebuchet has a counterweight. That's the difference. And a ballista is like a giant bow and arrow.
Yep.
I know my medieval artillery.
All right. Number
1 is the direct consequence of this. You're already thinking about it. Kellan, what did they use as ammo?
Ashketchum.
Voltorbs and Electros.
Yeah, that's the real answer.
Yeah. And Pineco, I guess, too.
Anything that can explode.
Anything that can explode was a bullet. I hate to break it to you, but you knew it deep down.
Geodude.
Yeah, I thought a Geodude.
Voltorb coughing.
Because you could fling a Geodude, and then it's like, oh my god, is that a cannonball? No, it's got arms, and then punches you.
And then blows up.
Oh, can Geodudes learn self-destruct?
Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah, they can.
Yeah, so can coughing, but I don't think it would fly very far, considering it only weighs 2.2 pounds.
Yeah, we get caught in the wind.
Seems quite light, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, coughing were probably used in warfare, too.
Oh, probably.
Just gas up the whole place.
Oh, let's not go any farther than that.
Is there a Pokemon that makes oil? Hot oil?
Hot oil? I don't know. Yeah. That's very specific.
Well, that was a thing in medieval warfare, too, where you'd pour hot oil off the side of the castle if people were trying to climb up.
Yeah, no, nothing that I can think of off the top of my head.
It's probably best.
Yeah. Well, that's that. Let's talk Pokemon.
Yeah, thank you for sticking around, brave listeners. Let's get into episode 149, The Firing Squad, in Japanese.
The Firing Squad.
The Firing Squad.
Fire-ing.
In Japanese,
squad.
Burn Zenigame Squad. Like a fire. 2 exclamation marks
Burn
after that,
Zenigame
baby.
Squad. Burn.
Like a burning Squirtle. Wait, no.
So we're on the road to Goldenrod.
Which is our next Azalea, was our next Violet.
Which was our next Indigoleague, which was our next Cinnabar, which was our next Saffron.
Wow, just rewriting Orange Islands like that.
Yeah. Oh, right. I forgot about Orange Islands. So, yeah, we're off to Goldenrod. We're stopped at the center, though. Ash has sent back his Tauros to Oak. Heracross is having a total blast at Oak's lab, and Oak wants to keep researching him. So Heracross is going to stay at the lab for a while, unfortunately.
In the case here, though, Ash sends his Tauros back anyways? I didn't understand why.
Yeah, I guess
he didn't need to, though, right?
No, with that, he has 5 Pokemon now.
Right.
And so he has an open slot. He could have brought anybody back, but he's Ash, and he doesn't do that. So
maybe Tauros are hard to care for on the road.
Maybe. So Ash's Pokemon are all done with their physicals, and we get a really good look at Ash's full team now, which is all just like 1 foot tall little guys.
Yeah, you can definitely see a theme. They're all first evolutions now, right? So
they're all the first Evo starters and Pikachu.
So Squirtle, Bulbasaur from Gen 1, right? And then Chikorita, Cyndaquil from Gen 2. Wow, I'm learning so much.
And Pikachu.
And then Pikachu, yeah.
Yeah, they're all tiny.
It's a weird team, right? Like for the games, that would be weird.
Well, yeah, because you can only get 1 starter without trading or anything. Unless you're playing yellow, whatever.
And not evolving anything is weird, too.
Yeah. So they're all done with their physicals, all in very good condition. Brock wants to examine Joy, but she's like,
he wants Joy to examine him.
Yes. That's what it was.
Big difference. No, not really.
And she's like, no, I just remembered. I gotta go care for the Pokemon from the Fire and Rescue Grand Prix.
And
so
that's
she
how
goes
we're
off.
Introduced to the main event of the episode through Brock's harassment.
So we see a poster where A bunch of Pokemon are fighting a fire.
What a sick poster. It's got like a Wartortle, Blastoise, Vaporeon, Poliwrath, I think, all sort of posing in front of these like flames.
And Misty's like, I think this is an event for firefighting Pokemon.
Great detective.
Thank you.
Followed by Brock being a good detective too. The Pokemon going into the stadium must be competing. Like, I don't know why they feel the need to point out these things. Like, no one was questioning that. No one, like, I don't know.
I would say it's because kids are stupid, but kids aren't that stupid. Like, gotta give them a little credit.
No, yeah, kids aren't that stupid. like
they can figure that out, I think.
Like, this is such a weird... Yeah, it'd be like going into a restaurant and being like, the people here must be eating. Like, yeah, they're eating. Like, I don't get what the point of saying that is.
Ash Ketchum walks into a funeral. Huh, that guy looks to be dead.
A lot of sadness in this room.
Brock just like up in their face. This family seems to be grieving.
Joy, examine me, please. Anyways, yes.
That
is the bad detective moments. Ash wants to compete because there's a competition he needs to join.
He has one water Pokemon, though.
So he's going to assume that Misty will just lend him Psyduck and Staryu.
Why doesn't he want Poliwag? Poliwag is always more competent than Psyduck.
Yeah, I'm kind of... okay.
I just forgot about Poliwag.
Are you with me here that I think they make decisions based more on what the animators felt like drawing than like continuity?
Oh, yeah. Maybe Psyduck had like a contractual obligation to appear in X amount of % of the show on screen.
Psyduck's
and so they needed to find a couple more episodes to squeeze him in. Yeah, he had a really good agent.
Oh, yeah. And Poliwag was actually, it was like, there's a separate union for like Poliwags that was like striking.
Poliwag is the extra they sometimes give a line to, but not often because they have to do a whole different pay grade for that.
Yeah, it's a whole, like their contract negotiations were up right now, so they weren't around. I like this thread. We'll discuss later about how this season Charizard was actually shooting a movie in Bolivia.
Yes, there you go. When he comes back, he'll be all jacked because he had to, get fit for that character.
You get fit for Marvel.
Yeah. Yeah, I like this idea that all the Pokemon are actors. They're animal actors. That's great. But they can sign a contract.
Yeah, it's a complicated thing. Are they people or animals? They're somewhere in between.
Mm-hmm. Are they man or are they Muppet,
And they do not know, so they scream. Yes, that age-old thing.
So yeah, he wants to take Misty's Pokemon for this. And then, hey, over there, what's this? It's Aiden with Team Wartortle from the Orange Islands.
Aiden with an A. I forgot that. I wrote down Hayden the whole episode.
No, it's Aiden.
Okay, Aiden. You're right.
And when they see him, even Brock's like, Aiden, even though he doesn't know who this guy is.
Yeah,
he's literally introduced to him.
Slips because then Misty explicitly is like, oh, you don't know about Team Wartortle, Brock, because you weren't there. So they give a flashback to him.
Which I love. I'm into it. I'm into whenever they reference an old thing that happened. Like, it's just great.
That just shows how hungry we are for continuity.
Yeah, I know, right? But it shows that an episode in the past that may have seemed like complete filler can have some bearing on a future episode.
Correct.
So,
yeah, totally.
I like that.
Totally, and that it wasn't like a one-off accident, because sometimes they feel like episodes are just like, oh, we just made it an episode, we don't care. But no, it's like, oh, there was actually some thought about how to follow that up. And it feels like they're saying, yes, that was cool, right?
Let's do it again. That was sick. Now, granted, the show doesn't do that 99% of the time, but that 1%, it's nice.
Well, yeah, and I do think that this is a big part of, we've brought this up before, but Western episodic TV before streaming was mostly like, now anime wasn't, though. Anime usually did have a lot of continuity, which is where things like this, I think there was a lot of deliberate choice to make Pokemon more like a Western show, since they had a global audience.
Yeah, like look at your old sitcoms and stuff. How many of those episodes actually have any plot that follows through and is impactful on future episodes. I should do a rewatch of Full House where I pick out only the episodes that have actual plot lines that go on.
See if there's like a minimal path through the Full House. There is a little bit because they have some stuff like, okay, Uncle Jesse gets married and shit, right?
Yeah.
So there's a little bit, but yeah.
What are all the episodes that we can pick out that have bits that are continued throughout the series? What is the minimal amount of Full House you can watch where you're still getting the full story?
I don't know if they do that for Full House. You could Google, but for like nerdier shows, like you can look up like a Star Trek minimal path that shows you like, oh, these are all the episodes that have an impact on the plot.
The people doing that for Star Trek, I highly doubt are doing that for Full House.
I know. That was why I led with the disclaimer.
Yeah. Anyway, we get a flashback of our meeting Aiden in the Orange Islands, including, Squirtle's sick-ass turtle
Squirtle has a sick
pose thing. It was pretty sweet.
Yeah.
So they're talking to Aiden. Team War Turtle is actually the returning champs of the firefighting Grand Prix here. Mm-hmm. And we get this backing track to all these teams that are training up. I believe it's the Poke Rap, which was fun.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I did like it, though. It fit.
It's the instrumental.
Right. It feels kind of like an 80s workout kind of track.
Exactly.
And they're all in the gym. Yeah, it was fun.
Aiden was able to use his connections to get Ash in at the last minute. Tisk tisk, Nepo baby. All right.
Aiden's a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he told the officials, I guess, that he knew about how Ash helped in the firefighting in the back. So there you go.
Yep. And they were like, oh, okay, fine. Mm-hmm. And then we see it's the Squirtle Squad with Jenny.
So this is the
Jenny.
Oh
my God.
What village was this? This wasn't an official canon location.
No, it
right?
was that random.
Town.
It was that random one where Ash walked into the store and got guns pointed at him.
Right. So this is way back from that original Squirtle Squad episode. And, at the end of that episode
12.
At the end of episode 12, the Squirtle Squad, who were like outlaws, in town, had discovered that they had a lot of purpose in fighting fires and joined Jenny as a part of the government. So they switched gears completely. What a bunch of sellouts. And now they are with that same Jenny. The idea is that there's some kind of official firefighting unit.
Mm-hmm.
What are we? Some kind of Squirtle Squad?
We probably made that joke way back when, too.
I hope we did.
I'm not finding the name of that town. May have just been some random ass. Like, hey, there's a town over there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's been a long time. 137 episodes, I think.
So this episode
since we saw the Squirtle
actually
Squad.
gave us two pieces of continuity. It gave us the Squirtle Squad, and it gave us
nice.
Aiden and the firefighters.
Big fan of that.
Yeah, huge.
Incredible. So Squirtle is reunited with his buddies, and it's adorable. Oh, and we get some flashbacks, talking about the Squirtle Squad. But the big thing is that he gets to reunite with his friends, and it's cute.
Yeah, very cute. And the Squirtle Squad looked kind of depressed until they saw their old
they're terrified.
pal. So, yeah, they're super nervous. But seeing the Squirtle again kind of cheered them up. And I like that whenever the Squirtle Squad is sort of highlighted in this episode, this like surf rock theme plays, which is fun.
Yeah. And so Aiden and Jenny meet, and I don't know about you.
Oh, I was going to go there.
There's some sexual tension up the wazoo here.
There was chemistry. Yeah.
Oh,
I don't
there's
know
something here.
what it was, but it's like Aiden, he's the firefighter chief. He's a good looking guy. He's tall. He's got it together. Very professional. And, this Jenny's very driven. And there's this admiration with undertones of like, oh, they might be a little interested in each other. I got that too.
Yeah, where's the spin-off series here with Aiden and Jenny?
Yeah, I want to hear all about their whirlwind romance, the ups and the downs.
And then we follow their firefighting squads, too. You got Aiden, you got Jenny, and you got the 8 Squirtle and War Turtle. That is an ensemble cast if I've ever seen one.
There you go. That would be good.
10 Squirtle and War Turtle. There's 5 of each.
Spoilers.
Well, it's not really a spoiler.
There's 9
you're
total.
Right. There's 9 of each. So, so Aiden and Jenny meet. They're probably going to go find back alley or something later. But Team Rocket are spying in.
I was trying to say it so politely of romance. You're like, they're just going to dick down. They're going to go to
say that.
They're going to go to a cheap motel, do a line, and clock out later.
What they do in the back alley is up to them. I'm just saying. They're going to find one. They might be like playing marbles or something.
Sure.
You never know. So Team Rocket are spine in. There's many valuable water Pokemon and Pikachu. It's great. Let's crash the Grand Prix, take them all, give some to the boss, keep the rest for ourselves, and we can sell them and whatnot. Typical Team Rocket.
Yep, typical plan.
The Squirtle squad are enjoying the reconnection, having a great time.
Fun.
They're gonna train with Team Wartortle in this last training session before the Grand Prix starts. So we're at the target range.
Yeah, so they're doing target practice. Wartortle's on one side, Squirtle's on the other. The Wartortles clearly have this strong leadership dynamic where the one in the bandana orders the others around. But this is a place where they benefit from leadership because I guess they have to do things in unison for this target practice. I didn't quite understand that, but that's the idea they're trying to push. Very cool. Music playing. The Squirtles, on the other hand, their nerves are going like crazy, and they're just spewing all over the place, completely missing.
They have no idea where they're shooting. They are not hitting the targets at all. I noted the music here is very fun.
Yeah, the music's hype. Good music episode.
Very good, yeah. Even for both of these episodes, they're very high on the soundtrack level. So Squirtle, our Squirtle, is very disappointed with the shape that the Squirtle squad has been left in. So he goes and stomps their tails, and they cry out in pain, and then nail the last targets with their leadership.
Yeah, they do way better after this.
Yeah, both teams finish, and Ash is starting to realize, these guys need a leader. They're not doing so hot without their leader, who I took from them.
Yeah, Brock's got this sweet sentence. Doesn't matter how long the gang has been apart. The leader is still the leader.
Aww, really is. They're just like the bestest friends.
They're good friends.
And it's very cute. Also, something I really enjoy about the Squirtle squad is that they're all drawn slightly differently.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I caught this.
One of them is definitely taller.
Oh.
And one of them is like kind of slimmer. They're all drawn very slightly differently.
It's
and I
pretty
like that.
subtle, though, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But that is good. And what are their names, Kellan? I'm guessing Donatello, Raphael, Michelangelo.
I was going to go Inky, Blinky, Pinky, and Clyde.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Why was his name Clyde? That was always so
right?
funny to me.
Right? That doesn't make so stupid. So we go to the Grand Prix. It's time for the start. It's going to be Ash versus Team Muck. Ash has the ensemble team of Pikachu, Staryu, Psyduck, and Squirtle. And so in order to start off the Grand Prix, the officials start a house on fire.
This to me was kind of wild.
It was pretty crazy.
That's their combination. Like, well, are these like donor houses? Like, how do they get these? They straight up light two houses on fire and they got to combat it.
They just found two vacant houses in town that have been run down and sitting around for a while. They just pick them up and move them. Get a couple Machamp. They can pick up a house, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, they could.
So Squirtle and Staryu start firing off. Pikachu is doing his best, trying to kick some dirt up onto the house. You go, Pikachu. you do your best, man.
Yeah, but somehow someone else is doing even less because
Psyduck is just there.
Doing nothing. And Staryu accidentally hits him into the fire at one point, and Squirtle's got to run and save him. It's pretty funny.
That's so funny. Oh my god. Staryu just fucking yeets him into this burning building. And then Staryu, which has no face, you can really see the expression on its lack of face, where it's like, oh shit, I didn't mean to do that.
Whoops.
Uh-oh.
He shows all his emotion through like the relative limpness of his top. Arm.
But yeah, Squirtle jumps in and out to grab him, superhero like in the Orange Islands episode. Meanwhile, Team Muck is just smothering this fire pretty easily, and they demolish Ash. Ash is lost. Thank God. I don't need Ash winning this fucking
random ass firefighting competition. Yeah.
With his shitty little team.
Yeah.
And so next match is going to be Team Golduck versus the Squirtle squad, who are really, really nervous.
Eden looks worried. He's on the sidelines. Like, you can tell the Squirtles are super nervous as well.
And so the house lights up, both houses, and Golduck jump into action. They're each on one side of the house, firing.
Got a strategy.
It's seeming to work, but the Squirtle squad are frozen in fear. They're
falling
super,
over
super
themselves.
nervous.
Yeah.
Yep. Eventually, they run into action. They trip and they pile up, which was pretty cute, honestly. Like, I know turtles, it's bad for them to be on their shell because they can't get up, but Squirtle doing that is pretty funny. Like,
if someone doesn't light a fire under the Squirtle squad, their efforts will go down the drain, the narrator said.
Really mixing metaphors there.
Well, he also says the line "squirt hard" earlier, and I don't remember the context, but like
I think I heard that in a different kind of video one time.
Oh God, I don't want to know.
So they finally get up and they start firing their water guns, but it's not doing much. They're all over the place. They don't seem to be very focused. Meanwhile, Team Golduck is way ahead, and so our Squirtle jumps in to lead the team because they aren't listening to Jenny.
Right. So Squirtle's going to show up, do that leadership stuff. And this is where that Surf Rock kicks in again. I love it.
But first, Pikachu has to Thunder Shock them to get their attention.
That was risky.
Yeah, a little bit. But I think in the way they animated it, I don't think he hit them.
No, he didn't. I thought for a moment, too. It's like they use Pikachu's Thunderbolts like in bizarre ways sometimes.
Yeah. Kill him to get their attention, Pikachu.
But then other times they make a big deal about how he can't use it because it'll hurt water them. Pokemon. Yeah. Like yeah. So,
yeah, they get their attention. They really need Squirtle as their leader. He jumps in to command them to fire in one spot, right there, and right there, and right there. Suddenly, the fire is extinguishing really fast. They're catching up. They jump into a final formation and put the fire out just before Team Golduck. They have won the round.
Woohoo, crazy.
But suddenly, the fire reblazes. Whoosh.
Wow.
House goes up in flames, and Team Rocket from underground in this giant propane tank mech rise from the ashes.
Cool mech, kind of.
Neat.
But it is a giant propane tank with arms and legs.
Just a cylinder.
Yeah. Jenny declares them under arrest. It's like, well, I think you gotta deal with this mech first.
Yeah, you can't just say that, and Team Rocket would be like, aw, okay. This isn't Dora the Explorer, Jenny.
Right.
Swiper, no swiping. Team Rocket, no killing.
Yeah, are they going to listen?
Man.
They do have the mech. The team with the mech is the one in power.
Yeah. Prepare for trouble, we're something. I listened to it like 5 times. I couldn't understand what Jesse was saying. And make it double, we may burst into flames.
Yeah,
surrender now or prepare for a firefight.
Yeah.
I couldn't figure out what you were saying, so that's points docked from the Team Rocket motto if I can't tell what you're talking about. So they fire up the Torture Scorcher, which, mid-mech, good name.
Good name.
Very good name, Torture Scorcher. Start blazing all over the place. Team Wartortle jump in, and Meowth says, we're going to have to do this the charred way. That's a good one.
That's like my cue, James says, to barbecue.
The barbecue. So they turn up the heat. All of the Pokemon come running in to help, but it was a trap and they all get netted.
That's them all, plus Pikachu. Squirtles are the only ones not caught conveniently.
Yeah, because they were too wimpy to run in. Yeah, must have been. So they start setting the entire stadium on fire. So the Squirtle squad have to jump in. Squirtle has to lead them to save the day.
Well, Ash almost gets himself killed in there, too. Jenny pushes him out of the way.
Yeah, almost gets burnt to a crisp, get himself cremated in the middle of this stadium. But we get this sick sunglass sequence from the Squirtle squad, with them all putting on their shades.
Yeah, inspirational music is kicked in. They all get the sunglasses, and they're all going to water gun.
They start firing at the robot. Team Rocket try to stomp the Squirtle squad to death. They're going to
put their foot down.
But they're able to dodge. They end up toppling the mech. Squirtle jumps in. They break the windshield. They jump in to destroy everything as the Pokemon get released.
They on the controls and it gets all electricity and it's going to blow.
It's great. Team Rocket keep trying to attack, but Pikachu and Squirtle team up with their big water electric combo, and Team Rocket go blazing off again.
Whoa, nice.
And yeah, I noted the music in this whole section is very, very good.
Yeah, it's fun. It starts as just this uplifting thing. It kind of transitions into battle music.
It's great. And so afterwards, as the officials are fixing the stadium, filling in the holes and everything, we have a heart-to-heart with Squirtle. And Ash tells him, the Squirtle squad needs a leader. You're that leader. I think it's time for you to go back with your friends and lead this team to victory. And so Squirtle agrees eventually. And so back to the Grand Prix, the Squirtle squad and Team Wartortle, we get a little montage. They beat Team Quagsire and Blastoise in this little rope climbing competition.
Yeah, where some rock music's playing again during this montage.
Until eventually it's Team Wartortle versus the Squirtle squad in the finale, where they have to retrieve a dummy from the burning building and then put out the fire. And again, this music is incredible. It's a very good soundtrack episode.
Yeah, so they got to run in and pull out these dummy Pokemon. They look like Clefairy dolls to me.
Yeah. Which is
a nice touch.
That's what the Pokedoll is in game.
Right.
The item Pokedoll is based on a Clefairy.
It was jogging something. What is that all about again? Where does that come up?
The Pokédoll is an item you can buy, and it just lets you fleet from a wild Pokemon.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Yeah,
instead of running.
It reminded me of something,
but this whole like retrieve the dummy from the building really didn't seem to have much effect on anything.
I don't know.
They just ran in and out.
Step, yeah.
And that was it.
Yeah, so really, they're all just blasting the building like the other events. The leaders on each side, the Squirtle, the Wartortle are screaming, getting them into like unison attacks, and then boom, we get the times. And they're close, Kellan.
Team Wartortle with 3 minutes, 54.02 seconds. And the Squirtle squad at 3 minutes, 53 seconds flat.
Ooh, Squirtles win.
They have won
by a full
the Grand
second
Prix.
or more.
1.02 seconds.
Yeah.
That's nuts.
That seems tight for a firefighting race, but I don't know anything about firefighting races, so.
Yeah, at what point, like, what's the call there?
Mm-hmm.
Is the fire considered put out once there are no embers left, or once there's like no visible flame?
Yeah,
how can they tell?
Yeah, when do they actually hit the clock?
Or if it's about like making the fire be out faster, would it be faster to bring in some fire Pokemon and burn the house down faster?
Right? Just like make there be no fuel left.
Yeah.
That would be hilarious. The year that the meta just completely flips and fire Pokemon enter.
They have to ban fire Pokemon the next year.
That's
because
right.
It goes against the spirit of the competition.
Yeah, they just fire blast and incinerate the whole thing, and okay.
Poor Volcanion, fire water type, can't compete. Aww. So I got a question from Alex here from this episode who says, in the competition, we see them rescuing dummies from burning buildings, climbing ropes. What do you think is the strangest task they have in the competition? We had to have skipped a couple rounds, right? There were so many teams.
Right. So what would be a strange
What's the weird
firefighting? Something involving poles, like maybe like a race down the poles. You know the firefighting poles?
No, it's the artistic portion of the event where they have to pole dance.
A part of a firefighter's spirit is to interpret the pole in different ways. We need to see the burning rage within you and how it's exposed through the pole.
Quagsire, walk yourself up on that pole. Let's see what you can do.
It's like interpretive dancing. Yeah, that could be the weirdest.
I'm putting Quagsire pole dancing on the fan art list.
Nice.
That's a good one. No, I think there's also the event. You know those old like Flash games where you have to like bounce people off the trampoline?
Oh yeah, well,
from the burning building.
That's from an old arcade game. Like there was a Game & Watch game like that. I don't remember what it's called now though.
But I think what it is they have to bounce something and like go for a high score. How many times can they bounce the coughing off the trampoline?
Oh, that'd be a good one. Or like they throw out eggs and you need to bounce it to safety without breaking it.
Execute.
Yeah, they throw out execute. You got to keep them alive on the trampolines. So many execute perish every year. It's sad.
Or execute, yeah.
Yeah.
They just run down to the store, grab a couple cartons. It's fine.
You can buy execute from the store.
I assume
they come in those styrofoam cartons. That'd be hilarious.
So, where do we go next?
To sunset, baby.
Oh, yes. Very good. Squirtle is going to stay behind with the Squirtle squad and be their leader, and they will be the greatest firefighting team ever known.
Yeah, so this is our goodbye to Squirtle.
Oh, please, no. Why are you getting rid of all these Pokemon show?
You can do it, Kellan. Be strong.
Charizard, Squirtle, Heracross.
At least we get a bit of a ceremony for Squirtle here. Like, Heracross is just like, help me with Oak. And Lickitungu's like, help me with this random kid, Benny.
Who we never see again. And but Squirtle gets a proper goodbye. It's to say goodbye to everybody.
Yeah, and we get a montage of nice Squirtle moments.
Bulbasaur even shakes Squirtle's hand.
This was adorable. It looked for a moment like Bulbasaur was looking away angrily, but really he wants to hold his hands with his vine whip. It was so sweet.
I never really noticed it, but did Squirtle and Bulbasaur have this rivalry going on this whole time? Because in the other episode, I think from last week, when all the Pokemon come out, Squirtle and Bulbasaur are butting heads. But I don't recall them ever having a really
a playful rivalry. It wasn't in your face, no. But a playful one. Just because Bulbasaur is kind of this, he's a bit more stubborn, remember?
Yeah.
And Squirtle's a little bit more flashy, so I think that kind of, led to that dynamic.
Maybe, yeah. He does say goodbye to his friend Squirtle, and they drive off. They'll always be friends, Ash yells, and he can always come back. And I do believe Squirtle comes back now and then. So this isn't a permanent goodbye.
Okay, that's good. He's got some cameos now.
Yeah. And then, we get the montage of flashbacks of all the good times and catching Squirtle and everything. All the good times we had with Squirtle. It's adorable and sad. And under the really sappy music, we get from the narrator, with warm memories of the good times they shared, Ash bids farewell to his firefighting friend. And as our heroes continue their journey to Johto, they look forward to the new friends and new memories that lie ahead. Oh, touching.
Touching indeed.
And this also starts off a series of times the narrator says that the gang are heading to Johto. Bitch, we're already there.
Well, in Johto. Is that what he says? Heading to Johto?
Yeah, he always says their journey to Johto.
I guess he meant journey to Johto League, but even still, it's a weird way to say it.
I think they're intending it to be their journey to the Johto League, and they're just referring to the league as Johto.
Yeah.
But we're in Johto. We're in the region.
There's a difference. Narrator.
Get your shit together. Ugh.
That's a surprising one, because usually they are more particular, at least before this.
Mm-hmm. But that is the episode. Goodbye, Squirtle.
Goodbye, Squirtle. All right, Kellan. Literary hour. This episode's about leadership to me. The role of the leader, the return of the leader. You're going to hate me. You are really going to hate me.
I swear to God.
But it has to be done. It's too good of a fit this time. Kellan, this episode is the return of the king.
Ugh.
The Lord of the Rings, the
firefighting in Lord of the Rings?
King. Oh, there's tons of firefighting during the Siege of Gondor.
Well,
there's fires. Like Mount Doom is just a big fire, right? It's a firefighting story. But this is a recurring motif in J.R.R. Tolkien, is like the idea of like returning to your role as a leader. And Aragorn would be the big character they do this with in Lord of the Rings. But this is also a plotline they do in The Hobbit with Thorin Oakenshield. He's also trying to reclaim kind of his role. Also their home of Erebor, the mountain kingdom that has been taken over by Smaug the dragon. Aragorn being the descendant of the Númenóreans as the Dunedain living in the north, returning to Gondor where the stewards have been watching over it and restoring the ancient kingdom of Arnor as he is destined to. And that is what Squirtle did in this episode.
Yeah, just like Lord of the Rings. It's the exact same.
It's so epic.
Yeah.
Squirtle's so epic, and he's got such a cool beard.
I will give it to you, though. It has been a good amount of time since you've made a literary hour for Lord of the Rings. So
it's healthy in moderation?
Sure.
It's just not something you can do every day.
Yeah, it gets to be a problem. It's a gateway.
Exactly.
Book,
Pretty soon you'll be talking about all kinds of high fantasy.
Be out on the street, bum a page or two from the locals. It's a mess. You're down a slippery slope here, Graham.
Nobody give that kid the wheel of time or something.
All right, let's rate this episode, shall we?
Yeah, so this is the Four-Pour, the plastic ping pong pitcher of objective rankings. We're going to pull two categories at random from the ping pong pitchers. The categories are on ping pong ball, and rate the episode based on those categories. Kellan, do you have a category for us?
Yes, our first category, I mentioned it earlier, it's going to be the Team Rocket motto.
We didn't really like it.
No, see...
I mean, how they come into it was okay, but pretty predictable, right? It's just when it's kicking off, right? The thing pops up. There you go.
And if I knew what Jesse was going to say, maybe it was a fun motto. Maybe it was a good starting, but I don't know what the hell she's saying. I can't understand her words. That's two for me.
Yeah, this was nothing special. The only thing I liked is sort of like how the mech appeared and then flowed into the motto. I did think that was kind of fun. So I'll give it a 3. Mm-hmm. 3 for me. But still low.
So that's a 2.5, very low score. Let's see if our second category can increase that. It's going to be, Ash Moron moments. Not a lot.
Yeah. I mean, you did have one. Was it Ash? Oh,
that was Misty. That was like
moment.
This looks like a firefighting competition.
Oh, that was Misty, not Ash. Okay.
I will say Ash forcing his way into the Grand Prix was dumb because he got completely bodied.
I think that was a moron moment. Yeah, because
that was pretty stupid.
He just jumped in. He needs to compete in everything. He was like taking Misty's Pokemon. Like it was kind of stupid.
And then he ran right into the middle of the Team Rocket.
That was a big one, actually. Yeah, he almost got himself toasted.
But no no big things like, I'm going to use this electric type against a ground type, blah, blah, blah. I'm dumb.
Yeah, I mean, it's more about Squirtle, the episode.
Yeah, he's quite supportive through the episode. That's kind of his role.
I think the running into the flames was pretty dumb, though.
Yeah, it's pretty stupid. Oh, he doesn't take a Pokemon back from Oak, so he's got an open slot.
Good one.
That's kind of stupid. So, yeah, 3 that I can pick out. 2 of them aren't particularly great, but I will go 4.4.
Well, yeah, these reasons convinced me a little, so I'll go 5.5.
So that is a 4.95 for that. Overall score for the firing squad, 3.725.
That is abysmally low for what was a good, solid episode.
A fun episode. Very fun episode, yeah. Well, maybe the next episode will be better, because that's episode 150. No Big Woop.
Or in Japanese, lots of Woopa.
Lots of Woopa. Great name. Oh.
That's a good name. I would like more names to be just like lots of.
So we're continuing to Goldenrod, as we expected, but what's that down there? There's this cute little building at the bottom of this cliff here, but what's that climbing the tree? Brock's trying to figure out what this building is when this thing jumps onto his back.
Something cold and weird's on the back of my neck. And then Brock slides down a cliff in disarray.
Makes him fall, breaks his neck at the bottom. He is stuck in a cast for the rest of the season, and they have to keep pushing him in a wheelchair throughout the entire show. Many plot points derive from Brock's wheelchair getting stuck in the mud, and they have to push him out. There's a lot of gags like that moving forward.
Wow, the Brock paraplegic arc. That was dark. That was some Degrassi shit.
Unfortunately, guys, I got you. I tricked you. That's not real. It doesn't actually happen.
Oh, you had them. You really had them.
So he's approached by the woman who works here. He's teaching some kind of class, it would seem. But it was a little Wooper on his neck. Ah!
Yeah. And dare I say it? I'm trying to think about how to word this. I don't mean this to sound weird, but Pokemon has this way of, they make teachers look a certain way. Have you noticed that? They're
I see what you're getting
They're
at.
young women with the same kind of hairdo. They have this kind of chin-length hair kind of thing and a dress. I don't know. Yeah. It's just when I saw her, I was like, oh, she's a teacher. Because that's how the visual language Pokemon's been pushing.
Yeah, I think they're kind of designed as what you think of when someone says kindergarten teacher.
In what's potentially a harmful stereotype now, but yeah, that's how it was
at the time.
Yeah,
at the time, yeah. But you're bearing the lead here. It's fucking Wooper, man.
Right, sorry, Wooper. So what is this Wooper? We've met Quagsire. I don't know if we've met
also
Wooper
lovely.
yet, have we?
Wooper, I believe this is its debut. Yeah, it is. Wooper is a little blue guy, kind of based on an axolotl, and he's got no arms. And he's just so happy.
An axolotl is an amphibian, right?
Yes.
Translucent skin, like a weird salamander.
Yeah. Wooper is just always happy. He's just happy to be alive.
Yeah, he is. He's loving it.
And he's so cute. And no one hates Wooper. Everyone loves Quagsire, but even more people love Wooper.
Really?
Yeah. I mean, look at the thing.
It's the cuter Quagsire.
It is. And I mean, most first stages are cuter than what they evolve into.
Almost always. It's
almost
very
always.
Rare, right?
Yeah. I can't even think of one off the top of my head that goes against that.
Yeah, I tried thinking of this once. It's tough. Maybe Dragonite, but...
Maybe. Yeah, with the friendly face.
Yeah.
I could see that.
But even that's a bit of a stretch, but...
Yeah. But yeah, no, Wooper is just the little blue dude who's the little axolotl salamander with the fins on its head and the dark blue stripes across its stomach. And it's lovely and wonderful. And we love him.
We sure do. And yeah, they're full of fun this episode. Very, very upbeat. Always whooping. All right, so in this situation, though, I mean, Brock met a woman, so of course he's being super weird. Yeah,
she's like, this Wooper's mischievous. I'm sorry that it caused you any trouble. And he's like, I'm Brock, and this is exactly the kind of trouble, dramatic pause, I just love getting into. I feel like our meeting was destined to happen, and your Wooper was the Cupid that brought us together. Don't you feel exactly that way too, Alicia? Even though she never introduced herself.
Right.
He knows her name already.
That is creepy. Are you sure she didn't introduce herself?
Yes,
really?
I watched it 3 times to make sure.
Oh my god, that's fucked up. That is really fucked up. That's what he was figuring out when he was spying up there.
Exactly.
Misty zings him.
Maybe she has a name tag.
The Cupid makes you stupid. Let's hope she has a name tag.
But also, can Wooper read? I don't know if it's helpful.
I don't know. Maybe she has the name tag for the parents.
I don't think Wooper can read. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say Wooper are illiterate.
Which Pokemon are literate? We talked about that once.
Well, we've seen a couple, right?
This came up before, but I don't remember the
This
details.
did, yeah. But also, I thought I was writing her name down as Alicia this whole time during this episode. It's Olesia.
What?
Olesia, according to Bubblepedia. Alicia.
Oh, they just pronounced it like Alicia, though.
Yeah, because they were saying it fast, so that's what it sounds like.
Huh.
Anyway, so yeah, this is Alicia. She runs a preschool for Wooper.
Interesting concept. Not sure why this is needed, but it is very cute.
It is the cutest concept ever, so I'm willing to let it slide.
Right.
Like, wouldn't you want to go work at a Wooper preschool? Doesn't that just sound like the most fun job?
For me personally, no. But I can see why it would be.
Come on.
I think these things would drive me nuts, man.
They're so cute.
Sure, for like a day.
And as you can see, you can just like hypnotize them, essentially.
Yeah, it takes some skill, though. It takes some skill. Otherwise, they'll put you through the ringer.
Anyway, so backstory, she used to babysit Wooper when she was young or something, and then like she found this pond that Wooper loved being there, and so she just made a preschool, and they started coming. I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically like a day, I don't know, a care center. I mean, it's really more just like an animal sanctuary for Woopers, but
specifically for Wooper,
they call it a preschool, so I don't know what she's teaching them exactly, but
math, obviously.
Astrophysics.
Hard calculus.
Right.
For these Wooper.
All right. Now, Woopers, can you please solve for the limit of this function as it asymptotically approaches tan over pi? Thank you.
Wooper?
Oh my god, it's a genius.
Young Wooper coming to CBS this fall.
Oh god.
So Ash dexes it. We hear that it's the pre-evolution of Quagsire, and we get a flashback to when we saw Quagsire in the episode stealing the GS ball. And ladies and gentlemen, that is officially the final appearance of the GS ball overall.
Wow, seriously.
2 weeks ago, we had the final physical appearance. This is the final time we ever see the GS ball.
Crazy.
Yep.
Oh man, I still really wish after learning about its Celebi tie-in that is what they did. Like even just one scene, like would have really made it better.
Yeah, okay, so we had a comment on the last episode from at dbaka3618 on YouTube, who said, just for my personal nostalgia, the fourth movie is my favorite. Man, it would have been so epic if somehow after the time jump they could fit in a scene where Kurt is running tests on the GS ball, and then Celebi bursts out of it and teleports away. That, I read that and I was like, oh my god, that seems so obvious.
Yeah.
Like, why didn't they just throw a scene at the beginning of the fourth movie with Kurt and the GS ball, and Celebi just, boom, pops out of it, and then we go into the actual movie?
It would have been a nice touch. It would have made this a whole lot more satisfying.
And maybe once we get to that movie, we'll see a reason why they couldn't have done that, but I don't see why they couldn't have, at least not right now.
I don't think I've seen that movie before. I don't know if the plot's incongruous to that, but we'll see.
Anyway, so it's time for Wooper Recess.
Hooray.
Where they sing and dance to a tambourine. Whoop,
yeah.
Whoop-ba, whoop-ba, whoop-ba. Very adorable. Ash and Misty are very enamored by the Wooper, but Brock's enamored by Alicia.
Of course.
Shocker.
We should point out here, there is one Wooper who is like distinctly Alicia's.
Yes.
And we can tell because it has a heart on its chest.
Yes. Little heart where the top dark blue round thing is the design that's on the Wooper chest.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you can tell it's a little heart, so that's hers. It's her favorite one. And so meanwhile, we go to Team Rocket. They found a mushroom. Jesse's gonna eat it, but it's poisonous. They're starving, as usual.
So hungry.
James thinks they should call the boss for spending cash. But me, I was like, no. We've spent all the spending cash, and we haven't sent him a Pokemon yet. So we probably shouldn't do that. Wobbuffet pops out.
Jesse is tired of scrounging around for food like some dirty little Diglett. What an insult. You dirty little Diglett.
Don't talk smack about my man
Diglett like that.
Ugh. Also, speaking of Wobbuffet, because this is the first time we've seen him in these 2 episodes, we got to figure out a category for Wobbuffet, people. Pitch your ideas about Wobbuffet for the Forepaw. My thought was it's just like Wobbuffet's vibes. How well do we vibe with Wobbuffet in this episode? That's my idea.
That might be it, but, Kellan and I have talked, and since we don't totally know what's coming in terms of, like, what shtick Wobbuffet's used for...
Oh, I know Wobbuffet's shtick.
Oh, okay. Then why did you say that?
I remember it.
So you don't want to make a category around that?
I mean, I think its shtick works well with vibing with Wobbuffet.
Okay.
With its vibes.
Okay, we'll need a name. So, folks, crowdsourcing again. Where should we run with Wobbuffet? Wobbuffet of cheese.
Did you remember you made that joke in the top 10 Pokemon cheeses?
Oh, yeah. That was a reference.
Okay.
I was referencing myself.
Making sure. So, anyway, Wobbuffet vibes, give us your name ideas. Or if you have, like, a really good category idea that we could do, hit us up with that. Yeah, Team Rocket needs a snack, and so the gang has a snack with Alicia. It's a nice little thematic
Woopers are watching them eat.
Cookies are really good. Brock's freaking out over how good these cookies are because Alicia made them.
Oh, God, Brock.
And then she gets a call, and we get those typical, like, ambiguous calls where you only hear one side, and she's like, oh, no, are you okay? Do you need help? Okay. And then we get the full story. Her mom fell down the stairs and broke her leg.
Sad. And her mom's in the next town over. She doesn't have a good care network there. So
she has no
Alicia
friends.
wants to get over and check on her. But she can't just leave the Wooper around. She is their primary caregiver. So Brock jumps in a volunteering White Knight action.
Okay, I need a spin-off episode where we see Alicia go to visit her mom. I need to know why there's nobody in this town that is able to care for her. Like, does everybody hate her? Is she horrible? Is she like Mega Karen?
I think the sad truth, Kellan, is that seniors are neglected all over the world.
Oh,
Did you want to get real?
I was trying to make a joke. You didn't have to make it.
Life
like,
isn't
real
fair.
Life.
I'm sure that Alicia's mom is a nice person. Society has just passed her by.
That's not where I intended that joke to go, but okay.
The best jokes, Kellan, actually make people cry. Didn't you know that? I read that somewhere.
I don't know if that's true.
That's true. Trust me. I read on Wikipedia.
Oh, yeah. Source, trust me, bro.
Trust me, bro.
Anyway, so Brock, this is a job for Brock the super breeder. Everyone's going to help title. Out. And she's like, I couldn't possibly ask you to do that. And Ash is just so blunt. He's like, you didn't ask us. We volunteered.
Yeah. But Ash and Misty are on board just because they like the Woopers, right?
Yeah. And it's like, Ash may have been very blunt about that, but I mean, yeah, he's right.
Good point.
We're volunteering to do this. You're fine. Go out on your Vespa and go see your mom, because that's what she does.
Yeah, she's got this like little moped. She takes off for the next town. She leaves
gives
them
the
with
Wooper handbook.
With this handbook. Yeah, that's got some instructions, I guess. And Brock is still so smitten that he thinks this is all going to be easy. He's just oozing arrogance at this point. Quite disgusting.
And Misty's like super worried about what it's going to take to watch these things. I thought Misty would be right. This would be right up her alley. They're water Pokemon.
Yeah.
She loves water Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
No, she's not used for characterization in this moment. She's used for foreshadowing.
Which comes to fruition right away, because they go back to where the pond is, and all the Wooper are gone.
This was so soon. Like they got for like 2 seconds. The Wooper are completely gone, and we get a great exasperation animation from Brock. He goes dark and then turns to stone.
Yeah, Medusa was behind the camera for this shot.
All along. Medusa employed as the camera person. Always a terrible idea.
Medusa directed one episode of the Pokemon anime, and we realized, not the best thing. We got rid of her real quick.
We almost had to remove all the scenes. We could salvage it by putting in these Brock Stone segments.
We had a CGI Brock for most of the episode.
Because he was Rock.
Because he was Rock for the majority of the shooting. But we got him in there. It's fine.
Brock the Rock.
So Pikachu finds the trail of Wooper slime. They're just inside, goofing around.
They are in the most nearby location. They are inside the school. Brock is sweating bullets, but the Woopers are just raiding the snack cabinets. They're having a little party. They're eating all the cookies. It is very cute.
So adorable. And the music is super silly and fun here as well.
Yeah.
So in order to distract them, Brock whips out his super delicious, super nutritious, incredible edible Pokemon pellets.
That's a cool sentence, actually.
Very good sentence, yeah.
And the Woopers devour Brock. They approach him from every angle. They're licking him dry, covering Brock.
Brock's got a lot of physical comedy in this episode.
That's true, actually.
At his expense.
He's good.
And so, they start climbing all over him. the handbook says that they'll listen to instructions easier if you use a tambourine. Misty's all into this. She had a tambourine when she was a kid. It's her favorite instrument. And so she starts playing.
I was like, really, Misty? What a lame choice. That's your favorite instrument? That's like, Kelly, my favorite food is soda crackers. I just love plain soda crackers.
Who are you?
No, that's
so boring.
That's the equivalent of saying your favorite instrument is a tambourine.
My favorite color is beige.
Yeah, bingo.
So she's playing it, but all the Wooper immediately regret their ticket purchase to get into the bar for this show. Plug their ears. She's very bad at playing the tambourine, apparently.
Didn't know that was a thing, but I mean, you need some rhythm, so
yeah. So Togepi tries, and the Wooper love it. Togepi's got him singing along.
Togepi is a tambourine prodigy.
Yeah.
Togepi is featured on Tambourine Today everywhere this month.
So Togepi leads them back to the pond, and we realize, oh god, we're missing one.
Uh-oh.
Alicia's favorite, the one with the heart on its chest.
Of course, it's the heart one gone. This is
And so
bad.
Brock goes stone again.
But this time he's like, still can move a little bit. He's like sadly playing the tambourine.
No, because he goes stone, and Misty's like, you're not going to help by just like crying about it. And so then for him helping, it's sitting there sadly with like his arms around his knees and playing the tambourine. He's like, he's sitting and he's like, boop, wooper, wooper. He just does that for the next like 5 minutes.
That's really funny, this depressed Brock. He is manic this episode. He's so hot and cold.
He's all over the place, yeah.
Yeah.
And so and so Ash and Misty go searching for this Wooper. It's just hanging out in the dishes.
Yeah, they hear
Adorable.
crashes, go into the kitchen. He's in the kitchen sink, in the dishes. I don't know if Wooper's trying to clean the kitchen or just having a blast. But when Ash goes to try to grab it, starts jumping, dodges it, and leads to these various hilarious events. Like Ash grabs for a plant, the Wooper almost knocks it over, grabs it, does the same thing with some dishes, and the Wooper's just jumping all over this kitchen.
And so Pikachu goes after it, but Wooper knocks over some cutlery, and Pikachu nearly gets stabbed by a bunch of falling knives.
Oh yeah, that was crazy. But kind of funny. But only because Pikachu's okay. But it almost killed him.
Yeah. But outside, we see it starting to climb the cliff, and Brock's still sadly playing the tambourine. Woo.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Woo,
so Ash and Misty are the only one capable of doing anything right now, so they start climbing the cliff. Misty is sliding, though, she's having difficulties, so Pikachu cheers her on. That was kind of nice.
We love supportive Pikachu.
Supportive
Wooper
Pikachu
gets to the top and keeps on running.
Oh,
and they find it crossing this rickety bridge.
Of course, there's always a rickety bridge.
There's always a bridge, and it's always dangerous.
Pokemon cliches are funny because they've kind of created their own language for what is a common occurrence.
I don't want to put it in as a regular category because it's not common enough, but I really hope one of these episodes we pull the whatever constitutes a 10 ball so we can put bridge danger. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crossing this bridge. They start crossing. A board breaks. Misty politely asks it to go back to the pond, and it looks like it's obeying, but it just starts jumping around the bridge and breaking it even more.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to send Ash and Misty to their deaths. Really rude, Wooper.
Very rude.
It jumps upon the rope and runs across. Incredible balance from this thing.
This
Very
reminds
impressive.
me of that. Actually, I don't know if you're into this. Kellan, do you know the Crash Bandicoot games?
I know of them. I've never played one. But
there is
I have
sort
a
of a
basic
notoriously horrible episode from the first game. The Crash Bandicoot series is a little bit like the Sonic series, where Sonic 1 is actually, people think they remember it fondly, but it's actually a crusty piece of shit. And and Sonic 2 is the good game. It's like that. Where Crash 1 is, it's got the pieces there, but it's a little rough. And Crash 2 is the actually really fun game. And in Crash 1, there's this level that's just a giant rope bridge that you have to climb across, and you can go on the sides of parts, and it's horrible. It's so hard, and it's it needs pin perfect timing. It's a brutal
old
state.
Games in there.
It's notoriously
pin
brutal.
Perfect timing and shit. Yeah, it's rough.
Anyways, it looks just like this bridge.
Hey, you did your literary hour early today.
Yeah, right.
Hold on. Yeah, it runs across to the other side, and the bridge breaks in half. Ash and Misty hang on for dear life. Ash tells Pikachu to go get Wooper. Meanwhile, Meowth is making mushroom soup and hoping that they can find some mushrooms to put in it.
Making mushroom soup without mushrooms. And then he sees a Wooper and goes, I've never seen a mushroom that big.
Why would you think that's a mushroom? I don't
He's
get
going delirious. All he can think about is mushrooms.
So he jumps at it, but it slips away. And he's like, well, where'd the mushroom go? This is crazy. Never once does he think that it's not actually a mushroom.
Right. Because then Jesse and James show up. They had picked some actual mushrooms, but they put them down because Meowth is convincing them that he saw a really big mushroom.
Yeah, and so they turn around, and Wooper is right there eating all the mushrooms now, getting really fucked up on some psychedelics.
At least, you think these are mushrooms?
I don't think Team Rocket
Jesse and James know enough. Yeah,
know enough about mushroom foraging. Yeah,
that's true.
I think they're just grabbing because earlier Jesse had to be told that a mushroom is poisonous.
That is true. What has changed?
I don't remember if it was Meowth or James that told her that, but
right.
I think it was Meowth. So I think he's the one that knows more.
But he thought a Wooper was a mushroom. So, Kellan, nothing makes sense here.
Yeah. Maybe it's the one that they knew that was poisonous.
Yeah. So Team Rocket, though, like Jesse and James recognize this as a Wooper.
Well, once it turns around.
And Meowth goes, guess that means we can't make a soup out of it.
Well,
not with that attitude.
But Jesse's so upset she's ready to punch it until it gives her the cute eyes.
Bats
and
its
so
eyes.
fun.
It's looking
adorable,
adorable, and Team Rocket is smitten. Meowth goes, it reminds me of me.
Wouldn't we all be smitten by a Wooper doing that to us, though?
I'll be smitten by Meowth. What a homie.
Nah, give me Wooper any day of the week.
Cute off time. Meowth versus Wooper.
And so Jesse thinks, let's catch it, give it to the boss. That's exactly what he needs is a Wooper.
Right. Couldn't you just see them bringing that back to Giovanni and him being like, what the fuck?
I always wanted a Wooper. And we turn around, he's got like this shrine to Wooper in the corner.
He's a huge
all the Wooper merch.
Simp.
Yeah.
He had a Wooper as a kid, and that's where it all goes back to. Team Rocket is just a big whole ploy to actually get Wooper.
His purpose has been fulfilled. He can stop leading Team Rocket now that he's a Wooper again.
Aside and has peace in his heart.
He opens up his own Wooper preschool to compete with Alicia's.
Yeah.
So Jesse tries to catch it, but the ball just bounces off because it's already got a trainer. Wooper doesn't seem to really notice or care.
Mm-mm.
He's just like, whoop. But Pikachu comes running in. Team Rocket try to barter with Pikachu to convince Wooper to go with them. They'll even give Pikachu all of their acorns that they found.
This line's so funny. Jesse actually says, Pikachu, are you familiar with this Wooper? I think that's a funny line.
Having a real conversation with Pikachu is just the best idea.
I know, especially since they're constantly trying to capture it. It's like Jesse just sounds like Pikachu's coworker in this moment.
So, Pikachu, do you catch that episode of Survivor last night?
Really shame. My favorite person got voted off. Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they try to offer Pikachu their acorns. He's not having it. Ash and Misty come in. They've found their way up the bridge, apparently, somehow. And it's battle time. And so Team Rocket pull out the nets on their bug-catching nets.
Bug-catching nets, yeah. And they're all trying to grab the Wooper, who's doing the same thing it was in the kitchen and just like
slipping, sliding away.
Sliding, yeah. Jesse uses wobbuffet, orders it to attack, and then completely forgets it could only count it.
Yeah, he can't do anything. So out come Arbok and Weezing. This was a pretty sick entrance for them because Arbok just kind of flies into battle. It's pretty sweet.
Arbok can look really cool when they want Arbok to, and then other times they make Arbok look super lame. It's kind of arbitrary.
But they also make him look really silly too. So
yeah, exactly.
Very expressive. So Weezing smoke screens, and in the mist they all get away with Wooper in the balloon. Alicia and Brock come riding in on the Vespa now. Prepare for trouble, we steal all the time. Make it double, we do it in rhyme.
Oh, that's a good one.
I like that one. Brock's like, we should use our Pokemon.
Good
Thanks,
idea.
Brock. Great. You do it every week. It's great, pretty good idea. Yep. But Alicia is like, no, wait, hold up. We don't need to do that. I got it.
She's like, not worried at all. This is great.
He's like, Wooper, playtime's over. It's time to go see your friends again. And Wooper's like, oh, fuck yeah. Jumps out of the net.
That's all it took. They just had to say playtime's over. That was probably in the handbook, you'd think. They didn't even look it up.
Arbok and Weezing follow it out of the net. Wooper goes for a tackle, which it can't learn in the games.
Yeah, but this is some kind of magical yoked Wooper, it looks like.
Or as Meowth says it, that's a real super Wooper.
There you go, because it tackles all right. Hits both Weezing and Arbok.
Very fun music
here. Follows it up by a slam. where it just like bounces them around.
Bouncing, wheezing like a basketball, and then grabs Arbok by the tail and Solongate Arboks it.
Oh, that's 100% what it is. For those of you thinking Kellan is making a weird joke in the month of Pride, he is not.
Yeah, it's Pride. That's why I made the joke. We're supportive about it.
Yeah, shout out. We love the LGBTQ plus community.
Arbok can be gay. Arbok can totally be gay. It's fine.
TKAD.
Arbok's a pride icon.
We do. We're being authentic. I feel like I sound sarcastic.
we always sound sarcastic.
Love the LGBTQ plus community.
Absolutely.
Yes. Solongate Bowser is from
Solongate Arbok.
is from Super Mario 64, where that is what it originally sounded like Mario was saying. And what's funny to me, Kellan, is that in the re-release on the Super Collection or whatever on Switch, they removed that line apparently.
Really?
Yeah, apparently they truncated it. So he just says so long, which to me is like, that's them acknowledging it, that he actually says that.
Yeah. Because, I mean, the thing is, he doesn't say that. It's just what it sounds like.
It just sounds, weird.
It's the G sound being really enunciated on long. He's saying so long, Bowser, but the G is really is way too enunciated.
Bowser.
So long, gay. But I'm also putting that on the fan art list. Arbok celebrates Pride.
There you go. Arbok Pride.
Arbok unironically celebrates Pride. That's an important adjective.
That's an important adjective. Yeah, agreed.
The fan art list is really getting some numbers.
You should almost call it something else because it's not like we'll ever have fan art.
Yeah, but calling it that is, putting it into people's heads.
Oh yeah. So. Put into the world, believe, achieve, perceive, blah blah blah. Got it.
Also, we haven't explicitly said it, but the official TKAD spreadsheet is in the description now, the public version. So go check it out.
Can follow these lists we're alluding to, as well as the 4 port categories
and episode scores, so you can take a look at all the data whenever you like.
Data.
Where were we? Solongate Arbok. Yeah, he gets hit into wheezing into the balloon. They go blasting off again.
Yeah, the little Whoopie's small but packs a wallop.
Woopa. So back at the preschool, they just left Togepi there with the tambourine.
Togepi's taking care of the Wooper because we learned Togepi is actually very skilled in this art.
It's so cute, though.
Very cute. Alicia's mom is fine, we found out.
Yeah, she's just in a cast, but she's up and moving now. The gang had fun taking care of the Wooper, even though it almost cost Ash and Misty their life, falling from a bridge.
Brock's impressed says, what's the secret with these Wooper? And Alicia does there's no secret. People just don't expect something so small to be so strong.
Meanwhile, every day she's injecting steroids into them in the back room.
Oh, yeah, these Wooper are juicing.
Mm-hmm.
What's the secret? I actually have this rare formula of Trent and creatine that I just pump them full of.
But it's really sad because they're too young and innocent to understand what's going on. Yeah. So it's this harrowing tale.
Oh, my God. Did you do that joke thing again where you started a joke and we turned it into something horrible?
There's a Netflix documentary about the horrible crimes she committed against Wooper.
Yeah, and it's got that like, bah.
Yeah.
It was a small town. Everything looked serene, but peeled back by the surface. More than meets the eye.
The neighbors' confessionals are all like, she was always great to everybody, in public. She seemed so sweet and so nice. I had no idea what she was capable of behind closed doors.
Bah.
Anyway, so Wooper is cute, right? Love Wooper.
Very cute.
Yeah, so she doesn't have a secret to raising powerful Pokemon, at least that she claims to have. I think she has something. But Brock asks to stay and teach each other about Pokemon and learn about each other.
Oh, God.
Misty ears him. I think she doesn't accept because she doesn't want him learning what's going on in the back room there. Just saying.
Just saying. This goes right to the top, Alicia.
So they head off to Goldenrod again. They all say goodbye. Brock cries about it. And
wham, poor Brock.
That's the episode.
That is indeed the episode. You want a literary hour?
Very fun episode.
It's very fun.
Very good one. Yeah, hit me. Give me a book.
The trope I discovered that aligns here is called the badly battered babysitter. So this is where babysitter jumps into play, take care of a young one, and the infinite is a lot more than they signed up for, and things get a little out of hand. You've seen a lot of like cartoon sketches are like this, right? Like there was a Incredibles short, I remember.
Baby
Jack. Yeah. It like gives all his superpowers like come out at the babysitter, and it's crazy. but a book, like, because this is actually a fairly old trope, the book version of Marley and Me. The author and his wife take a trip to Ireland, leaving their dog in care of a pet sitter. And every day, the pet sitter is like calling the parents, I guess. I don't know, the owners, calling the owners with horror stories of what Marley's getting into and is pestering her and making her life miserable.
Doesn't that dog die at the end?
Look, Kellan. Look, I don't want to go there. don't make me do that.
Oh, I got one for you.
Okay.
With this trope, Yoshi's Island.
The whole video game.
Yeah, the whole game.
Super Mario Brothers 2. I mean, Super Mario World 2. Yeah.
Yoshi's Island. He has to get baby Mario through the entire game. He just keeps getting his ass kicked. Yoshi.
And anyone who's played that is just going to be traumatized by the noise of the crying baby Mario. It's so haunting. Oh. You know what game kicks ass, Kellan?
Many games kick ass.
DS sequel, remake kind of thing of that. I think it's just called Yoshi's Island. I don't totally remember.
Yoshi's New Island?
No, that was the 3DS one. This is
because no one likes that one.
No one likes that one. This is the DS one. It's actually a really good, slick platformer. It's hard.
Oh, it's just Yoshi's Island DS.
Yoshi's Island DS, that's the game. And there's like 4 babies because they give different powers. There's like a baby Donkey Kong that gives like a different ability and stuff.
Yeah, it's really started giving all these pointless variations of the Mario characters.
Yeah, kind of. But it's
baby Peach, baby Wario, baby
That's
TK.
A really fun game. That's a good platformer.
Yeah, we really got to get baby Rosalina into Mario Kart. Jesus Christ. Why? Really stretching things out. Anyway, I get that trip. It sounds very familiar, so Good job. I recognized it.
You're Big the Cat and Froggy.
Oh, there you go.
Your favorite character.
All right, let's rate, shall we?
Yeah, 4 poor me. We got a category?
All right, first category. This is an interesting one. It's our pay it forward Black Parade enthusiasts.
So this was like if there's a character who knows the lyrics to The Black Parade by My Chemical Romance, right?
Correct.
Okay.
And I think Wooper does.
You think Wooper knows the lyrics?
I think the Wooper are all really, really into Black Parade.
I guess they're music enthusiasts.
Yeah.
I think Alicia would be the type who's like, she knew it in high school, but she hasn't thought about it for a while. Like Alicia had a phase.
Still.
She had like a black t-shirt phase, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a phase that I never grew out of.
My t-shirt's currently gray. Does that count? Slightly phased out.
Welcome to the Black Parade is literally my favorite song. So
really? Nice.
Yeah.
So this category was about you.
Oh, the whole time, baby.
The whole time.
I made this whole podcast about me. Me.
Cool.
Anyway, I think the Wooper are into it. They don't necessarily know the lyrics because they're Wooper, but I think they hear it and they're like, ooh, this is good shit.
This is sweet. There's like one Wooper who's like, I really like their earlier album better. He's in the corner.
But I think all of the Wooper are into it, so 8.
Oh my god, that's high. No, I'm going way lower. I think that's an okay argument. I think Alicia liked it in high school, but I don't think there's an obvious one. I'm only going 3.
Oof.
Yeah, we're on different sides of this one.
That's a 5.5 for Black Parade enthusiasts. And the last one will be the subversion immersion.
Okay, subversion immersion. So these are trope subversions,
subverting any tropes.
We called out sort of the teacher stereotype. That is not a subversion. That was going on.
I'll give you one that's like a subversion of an in-show thing.
Okay.
Brock is the one that wants to help all the women and stuff. He does nothing to help.
That's true.
He sits there sad and doesn't actually do anything. It's Ash and Misty that go to find Wooper.
There's also like a competency subversion here too, because Brock is generally the one good at like life fundamentals, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's good at cooking, taking care of people, like health, that kind of stuff. And he's just a whimpering little baby of a man here.
Oh, also, part of like the final lesson in the episode, Wooper subverts by being like the super powerful yoked dude.
Ooh, good point. Wooper himself is a subversion.
Yeah.
And he's like a don't judge a book by its cover kind of situation.
Yeah, don't fuck
it's
with
actually
me.
A pretty good one. Yeah.
Do you have anything? Have you figured anything out?
Well, I'm
putting in all
yours.
the legwork on this one.
I subverted your own joke about elder abuse, so there's that.
I don't like it when you put it like that.
No, nobody really would they? What about Brock knowing Alicia's name before she introduces
That's just
herself?
creepy. It's not a subversion, it's just creepy.
That's a creepiness subversion.
That's all I can think of.
I think, okay, the Wooper being really strong is kind of the strongest one here.
Yeah.
There aren't very strong, like, gender stereotype subversions or anything like that. So, I don't know. I mean, this is okay, but it's not really doing it for me. So
no jokes that subvert the expected punchline and go in a different direction.
I mean, I've said this before, but all comedy is a subversion. Chew on that.
Well,
but no, for the purposes of this, I'll go.
You know what I'm saying.
5.5.
So 5.5. I think considering that the entire lesson at the end is that Wooper packs a strong punch, even though it doesn't look like it. I think that cranks up a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go 7.
Solid.
So all 7. So 6.25 for that. Overall, 5.875 for no big whoop or lots of oopa.
Lots of oopa.
Oh no, we didn't get the title this time, unfortunately.
Yeah, those are fun names.
Well, that's it for this week then.
Yes, and Kellan, which episodes are we talking about next week? I assume we're talking about Pokemon episodes.
No, we're actually going to be watching Young Sheldon.
Oh, God. Of all the shows we could watch.
Tying it back, baby. Tying it back. So, now next week we're looking at 2 more episodes. We're going to take a look at episode 151, Tunnel Vision, or in Japanese, Purin versus Bulu, ! Which is interesting because I think last week we were talking about, like, where's Jigglypuff? Did she ever come back? We will see Jigglypuff next week.
Yeah, I did point out how there's 2 creatures following them
and
from
we
afar.
Will see them both.
It's a real Clash of the Titans, I think, we're leading up to.
And then followed by episode 152, Hour of the Hound Hour, or in Japanese, Dark Pokemon, Delville.
Cool.
Delville. So join us for that.
Oh, that looks cool. That is a cool thumbnail.
Hound Hour is a cool Pokemon. So
yeah, I mean, I remember Houndoom a little better. That's the evolved one, right?
Yeah.
No, he's a cool.
And then it never got that 3rd evolution with 3 heads for Pokemon number 666, and we were all disappointed by that.
Oh, that would have been so sick. I don't know if Pokemon Company had the balls to do that, though.
They would never have done that. Yeah. Instead, we got a butterfly at 666.
Okay.
A regular old butterfly.
It might have been the thing that Gen 1 Pokemon Company would have done, before it was like back when
biggest
they took
franchise on the planet.
Weirder risks, yeah. When it was a small, weird little thing.
Anyway, that's for next week. We'll talk more about Hound Hour then.
Cool.
And no Wooper, unfortunately. Oh.
All right. Well, thanks everyone for listening, loving the engagement. Keep it up. So for those of you who don't know, you can leave comments on the YouTube channel, youtube.com/HydraLeech, or on the Spotify platform as well. You can leave comments. And so any engagement on any platform you're using, would really love it. Rate, review, auto download, all of that stuff. And we're on
algorithm,
a variety
baby.
of podcast platforms, other places you can interact with us. Kellan's on TikTok, HydraLeech it's called, where he does some crazy stuff. He's ranking Pokemon Green sprites right now, I think.
Yep. And there's more coming.
And you're on Twitch, HydraLeech, do some twitchy stuff. You can reach us at Twitter, Kill A Delibird is the handle, or email us at killadelibird@gmail.com. That's how people send in questions. You'll hear sometimes we bring up people's questions from about the episode before we review them. Intro and outro music is 80 Synthwave by Alexi Action. I've been Graham. Kellan's a Kellan.
I am.
We have fun.
Do we?
Not when you talk about elder abuse.
Nice try. All right, bye, everybody.
Abuse. Abuse.